You stay categorically.
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you stay categorically?
The leaks are absolutely real. The news is fake.
And I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake.
Mr. President, CNN here.
Fake news. Fake news. Who? Fake. Welcome to CNN, the only news network that is 100% fair and 112% factual.
You know, one of the things that's been in the press a lot recently is fake news, the idea of fake news.
Yeah.
And I heard, is this true that you have started your own fake news site?
I have.
Yeah.
It's called Please Listen to Me.
Yeah, fake news, you know, and it just seems like it's everywhere right now. Fake news to me is anything that just doesn't fit into this kind of legitimate category for what, at least as a journalist, we kind of define as going through what to me, and having been a journalist and teaching journalists, is kind of like a rigorous, you know, background checking, making sure that we've talked to the proper sources, making sure that we've followed everything ethically that we know how to do. I definitely negative. I mean, couldn't be any more negative because really, and I see it being kind of twofold too, because to me what we're seeing is both kind of this illegitimate journalism going on that's placed for negative reasons. And so you've got kind of this traditional definition of it. As bad right now is just that the term is being thrown around left and right. Just the label now, just that people can kind of use this term, which is widely held, and change our opinion about organizations that are reputable, that do go the extra lengths to make sure that what they're putting out there is journalistically sound. I think it's, you know, and you're seeing it being addressed in certain ways, Facebook and Google trying to figure out how can they do something about it, you know, basically almost kind of giving this stamp to, you know, certain organizations that have, you know, fit their criteria for what will be considered news. You know, once upon a time, you know, journalists were kind of the gatekeeper, and that was it as far as information goes. But now with phones, with Facebook, with Snapchat, with everything, almost anybody can be a journalist today. And that's great from a lot of respects. To be able to go and have a lot of people reporting on issues, tackling issues, that's terrific. But how do we solve that? I think some of it's just education of ourselves. I think we can place a lot on journalists. I think we can place a lot on politicians or whoever, but a lot of it comes back to us. And I think we as a society, we need to start kind of going, wait a minute, what is real and what isn't? Yeah, I think on any news organization, you know, again, whether it's fake organizations out there or just that label, it's so easy to throw that around. You know, I mean, it's not just administrations calling out journalists or college publications. It's students on campus, different organizations. And so I think you feel this up and down the board. You know, it's not just CNN. It is small news operations, even like us, because right now, I mean, journalists, all you have is credibility, you know, and if it's gone, everything that you put out becomes a little bit more tainted. Do young journalists get demoralized by this situation and just want to start to walk away from a profession that is so needed and so important? Does it just create this demoralizing effect that people don't want to go into this profession anymore? I hope that isn't the case, but I think there are a lot of ramifications that are all pretty negative that come of this. Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think number one is, you know, I mean, it just sounds so simple, but just don't cut corners. There are a few bad apples. I mean, we've seen lots of cases of fabricated news in the past at New York Times, at major publications, and sometimes it's individuals who are doing it for malicious reasons, and sometimes it's just laziness. And if there's one thing about journalism that you just can't be, it's lazy. Everything, I mean, it's like anything in life, you know, the level of carefulness, of care, of just hard work and digging that needs to go into it, because that really does, that makes a difference.
Last question, completely opinion.
Yeah.
Do you think this whole fake news thing is kind of something that's almost like a bookmark towards the end of journalism, or something that could spark a resurgence of a whole new, well thought out journalism, or just some trend that's going to pass?
I hope it's I hope it's something that doesn't last and doesn't have a lasting impact on journalism. I don't think it will. I think journalism, you know, there's so much talk about, is journalism dying, is this, but the reality is we consume more information than we ever have, and there are more ways to consume information than we've ever had. We need information, we need good information. You know, is this something, I mean, we've always had issues like this, yellow journalism of the past, all these types of things, and it's really a matter of kind of cresting a hill. I think people are kind of fed up with it, you know, and so I think some of this will die down, but it's certainly not something that we can get complacent at. Certainly not as journalists or communications professionals, but the public too. I mean, I think it's something that we have to demand better information, better work by journalists. So I am always optimistic about the future, and certainly about journalism. Is that good?